Passing is the first contact, the foundation of the offense. It all starts here. The quality of the pass affects the quality of your team's offense.
The keys to being a good passer are 1, body position, and 2, footwork. The body position for passing is you want all the flexion to come through your ankles. If you're on the right side of the court, your right foot should slightly be in front. Left side of the court, left foot slightly in front. This is going to allow your hips to stay neutral to the center of the court. I'm going to start with my right foot forward. Knees are bent, knees over the toes, shoulders in front of the knees. I'm leaning forward, my hand position, my arms are relaxed but on contact. I'm going to get my arms out in front of me, forming a nice solid platform, shoulders slightly shrugged, hand position. There's many variations. As long as the heels of your hands are together, you're going to be fine. Some people will take their left hand, right hand, lay it right in there, curl it down, make a platform. Some will interlock their fingers. As long as the heels of your hands are together, it'll form a nice platform. I make a fist with my right hand, and I grab it with my left, making sure my thumbs are even. Again, the heels of my hands are together. Nice solid platform. Platform shouldn't move. This platform is a backboard. Again, body position, arms out in front of me, about a 50-degree angle. Feet, very important. In order to pass a good ball, the serve isn't always going to make it exactly to where you're standing. You might have to move a little. Whether you shuffle, forward, backwards, side to side, as long as you get there, if my arms aren't in front of me, the ball should hit me at thigh height. So you want to constantly keep your feet moving to get in the best position and have your hips facing the target.
Misty May is considered the best passer in the sport of volleyball. If you want to pass like her, learn these drills.
Now that we've talked about body position, now we have to determine what kind of pass we're going to be using and when. This depends on the server's speed and how fast the ball's coming over the net. Once you're in proper position, now I watch the server. I watch their arm speed. If the server's doing a jump serve and the ball's coming very hard, it's very important to get your arms out early and away from your body. If they're too close to you, the ball won't have any room, you can't cushion, you can't take any speed off the ball. The farther you are, your arms are away from your body, you're going to be able to cushion, give a little in order to keep the ball on your side. Notice how I am here. Once I contact the ball, my arms are able to come into my body, taking some of that pace off the ball. Second, if you see a server come up and their hand contacts under the ball, most likely the ball's going to drop a little shorter. It's very important on the short serve, you get your feet moving fast before the ball reaches the net. To get in proper position, you want to drop your hips, get your platform even, parallel to the floor, and lift with your legs. The closer you are to your target, the more parallel your arms are going to be to the floor. The third serve, and I think the most difficult one, is the ball that's going to hit you high. It's one of those serves, line drive. You don't have enough time to move back. To get it in proper position, you're going to have to meet the ball at a much higher level. Arm angle is going to change a little bit. It's going to be a little tighter to your body, but you're going to have to go up and meet it. Maybe continue your motion back, but you're going to have to go up and meet the ball. Learning some of these techniques requires practice, but don't forget that on Sports School, you can stop, rewind, and pause these lessons as much as you want until you feel comfortable. You are in total control.
Let's recap the keys to passing. The stance, medium stance, shoulder width apart. Hips back, knees over toes, shoulders over knees. Head up, back straight. Form a triangle between your shoulders and your hands to form the platform. Then, using the whole body together, anchoring from the hips, hit through the ball. Remember to face your target, where you want the ball to go, not just where it's coming from. The basic mechanics are always the same, but you need to adjust to where the ball is played. Short balls, your platform is parallel to the ground and you're mostly hitting up. Medium balls, drop your arms about 50 degrees so you can hit the ball forward and up. For the high ball, use your lower body to come up to the ball and cut it off. Passing sets the tone for your offense, so good passing is an important start. The best offense is a good defense. Never is the saying so applicable as it is with individual defense in volleyball. Your dig is both offense and defense.
Defense is one of my favorite aspects of the game. Defense is an attitude. You gotta go in with the mindset knowing that you can dig any ball no matter where it is on the court. There are several keys to defense that I'm gonna talk about. First is you want your feet a little wider than shoulder width apart, and you want to drop down using flexion in your ankles. Your knees should be in front of your toes and your shoulders should be leading your knees. So in a nice forward stance, back is straight. I'm not rounded and I'm not sitting back on my heels. My weight is equally distributed right in the middle of my feet. I'm not on the balls, and again, I'm not on my heels. I'm able to move quickly. You want to be able to move in either direction, whether you're going forward, backward, left, or right. If the ball gets hit off the block, quick shuttle movements. You want to be ready, like a tennis player is when they're ready to receive serve. They're ready to move in either direction. As I'm down, my arms are relaxed. I have a slight bend to them because the ball is going to travel at a much higher velocity and a much faster pace. You have to be able to react quickly enough to put the ball up. Once I'm down, I'm looking where the hitter's coming from. I'm going to try to square my hips up towards the hitter. Once then, I'm looking at their arm speed. You have several different shots. They're going to hit a hard ball, a flat ball, they might tip it, or like I said, it might go off the block. So once I'm down, as soon as I react, I get my platform behind the ball, nice stiff arms. I want a nice solid platform. Heels of my hands are together. Slight shoulder shrug. No movement in the arms. If any movement occurs at all, it will be to take some pace off of the ball so that you can control it and keep it on your side. But once again, defense is an attitude, nice solid platform, and it's about moving your feet and being ready to move in either direction. I'm gonna get under it. Arms away from me, hard hit. As the ball travels into me, I'm letting my arms come into my body to control it again on my side. I want the ball up. Sometimes you're not gonna be able to get your body behind the ball. It's very important that if you can't get a piece of your body behind the ball, your platform is there. If I can't get a ball to my left, too fast, my platform is always there, ready to deflect the ball back to my target. As a defender, I know I can get to any ball, anywhere on the court. But in doing so, I have to be able to protect myself. Defense, you will get banged up, but it's okay as long as you know the proper technique in rolling and saving your body after you're digging a ball. As long as you're down low, ready to react, the lower you are, the easier it is going to be to get under a ball and land on your side. The higher you are, the much harder it is to fall to the ground. When I'm down, digging position, if a ball is to my right, first thing I try to do is take a big step. I extend out with my platform, pushing under, my hips come up. I land on my side. I don't hit my knee. My knee isn't pointing to the ground. I'm landing on my thigh and side, arm out, extended. This is after you have dug the ball to save yourself. Arms out. From here, I roll on my back. Hands and knees up in the air. I'm rolling over. I push myself up with both hands. Again, ready for the next play. Get under it, up, roll, ready for defense again. Arms out, up, roll, ready defense again.
Let's recap the keys to individual defense. Use a medium stance, shoulder width apart, hips back, knees over toes, shoulders over knees. Head up, back straight. Form a triangle between your shoulders and hands to form the platform. Then, using the whole body together, anchoring from the hips, hit through the ball. Remember to face your target where you want the ball to go, not where it is coming from. The basic mechanics are always the same, but you need to adjust to where and how the ball is played. You need to be able to react quickly to deflection by staying low and keeping balanced. You can control hits with greater velocity by moving in with your hips and bringing the platform into the ball. Finally, when you're going all out, diving onto the ground, you can protect your body by extending to the ground and rolling out. The roll gets you up quicker, ready to defend again. The setter is to a volleyball team as a point guard is to a basketball team. Like the point guard, the setter distributes the ball. The hitter may get most of the points, but they wouldn't be able to do it without the setter getting them the ball.
The first key to setting is proper body positioning. Your right leg should be slightly in front of your left, knees bent, shoulders in front of your toes. Now this is going to vary from player to player. Some setters are tall, some are short, so it's just finding that happy medium that you're comfortable with. Second is hand positioning. You want your elbows slightly out a little bit, hands are going to form to the ball, index fingers and thumbs are going to stay equal distance when receiving right through the delivery. The very last thing is the delivery. Now it's very important to get under the ball every time you set. Make sure your hips are facing the target. You should be waiting in proper setting, positioning, waiting for that ball to come down. As soon as it's in your hands, your weight is going to transfer from your back foot to your front foot, and everything should follow through right to where you want that ball to go. Now if I bring it down below, I might get called for a carry. If I bring my hands up one at a time and hit the ball not simultaneously, I might get called for a double. Now that we walked you through the front set, now we're going to learn the technique of the back set. It's very, very similar to the front set, but now instead of setting forward, we're going to be moving our offense behind us. With this, there are some slight differences. First off, your body position is going to remain the same. Weight will still transfer from your back foot to your right foot, but now your hips are going to get a little more involved and your back. Now, instead of your hips staying in the same position, they're going to move slightly up and forward, allowing your back to arch, and now your follow-through will be slightly behind you. To get under the ball every time, you want your opposition to think you're front setting, but instead, that back arch is going to allow you to push that ball back. You want to keep getting the ball on top of your forehead. You move your feet to get there as fast as you can. You want to be waiting there for the ball to fall right into your hands. Learning some of these techniques requires practice, but don't forget that on sports school, you can stop, rewind, and pause these lessons as much as you want until you feel comfortable. You are in total control.
setter runs the offense and ideally sets most of the balls, but everyone on the team gets called on sometimes to set. Every player needs to know how to set legally and efficiently to help the team. Start by getting under the ball. Face where you want it to go, except for a back set, of course. Stagger your feet because you will need to transfer your weight from your back foot to your front foot as you push up from your hips, elbows, and wrists. Remember to keep the hands open, shaped like the ball with your thumbs and index fingers forming a triangle. Make sure your hands and fingers maintain position. Don't bend them so you get called for a carry. If you can set properly, the key then becomes getting to the ball.
The keys to attacking are arm position, your body position, your approach, and your footwork to get under the ball. Hand position. First thing I will talk about is your arm swing. Arms are going to stay relaxed by your side. You want them loose. You don't want stiff arms. If you go in with all muscle, you're going to end up hitting with all muscle, which will probably end up working your shoulder over time. So loose arms. As I bring them back, when I'm finishing my approach, I'm going to swing my arms up. Left hand, like tennis, is going to point to the ball. I'm going to get that ball on my right shoulder. Elbow is going to bow back. I'm going to stay high with the elbow. I need my elbow relaxed, my wrist loose, because the power comes from a whip-like motion that you're going to use once you contact the ball and follow through. So again, arms up, elbow back, coming around, whip-like motion, arm extended, follow through. Now that I've covered the arm swing, now it's time to talk about the starting stance, your body position heading into your approach so that you can make that nice solid swing. For right-handers, you want to start with your weight on your right leg, almost like a sprinting starter. Left leg. You take a small step. As soon as you know where the set's going to be, you see the ball, you take a small step with your left. Notice my weight is down, knee slightly ahead of the toe of my left foot. Arms are still in a relaxed position. From here, I make my last two steps, a right-left, almost simultaneously, very quick, at a 45-degree angle to the net. At this point, my arms should be back. I'm down far enough. The only thing I have to worry about is going up. So again, left, quick right, left. Arms back. Now I can get up and crush the ball. Go up and get it. You want to get the ball, attackers should get the ball at their peak. Don't wait for the ball to come down. Go up and get it. Pass. That's it. Notice, as I'm hitting, I'm following through. This is going to help your shoulder out, take less pressure off of it, and you're going to be able to last a lot longer as a hitter.
Attacking. It's hitting, it's spiking, it's scoring. In volleyball, a good offense depends on good attackers.
The keys to attacking are arm position, your body position, your approach, and your footwork to get under the ball. Hand position. First thing I will talk about is your arm swing. Arms are going to stay relaxed by your side. You want them loose. You don't want stiff arms. If you go in with all muscle, you're gonna end up hitting with all muscle, which will probably end up working your shoulder over time. So loose arms. As I bring them back, when I'm finishing my approach, I'm gonna swing my arms up. Left hand, like tennis, is gonna point to the ball. I'm gonna get that ball on my right shoulder. Elbow is gonna bow back. I'm gonna stay high with the elbow. I need my elbow relaxed, my wrist loose, because the power comes from a whip-like motion that you're gonna use once you contact the ball and follow through. So again, arms up, elbow back, coming around, whip-like motion, arm extended, follow through. Now that I've covered the arm swing, now it's time to talk about the starting stance, your body position heading into your approach so that you can make that nice solid swing. For right-handers, you want to start with your weight on your right leg, almost like a sprinting starter. Left leg. You take a small step. As soon as you know where the set's going to be, you see the ball, you take a small step with your left. Notice my weight is down. Knee slightly ahead of the toe of my left foot. Arms are still in a relaxed position. From here, I make my last two steps, a right-left, almost simultaneously, very quick, at a 45-degree angle to the net. At this point, my arms should be back. I'm down far enough. The only thing I have to worry about is going up. So again, left, quick right, left. Arms back. Now I can get up and crush the ball. Go up and get it. You want to get the ball, attackers should get the ball at their peak. Don't wait for the ball to come down. Go up and get it. Pass. That's it. Notice, as I'm hitting, I'm following through. This is gonna help your shoulder out, take less pressure off of it, and you're gonna be able to last a lot longer as a hitter. A lot of the power comes from your forward acceleration through your approach. As you're approaching, you're building up power. The transfer from your ankles to your legs through your core, you're using, because of your 45-degree angle to the net, it's allowing you to use your core to whip your torso around. That power from the core is then transferred into your arm swing, and like a whip, finishes out your fingertips.
Attacking is where the glory is. Good hitters score points, so remember the power comes from the velocity you gain from your takeoff. Start in the sprinter stance and take off at a 45-degree angle to the net, so you can bring your whole body to come around on the hit, not just the arm. But the wrist snap and soft elbow coming down on the ball are key. Finally, follow through and give in the landing to protect your body, and so you're ready for the next play. Practice enough, and they won't be able to return your hit. Blocking is the first line of defense in volleyball. The objective of blocking is to direct it, deflect it, or ideally block the ball right back to the opponent's floor. That is called a roof, or a stuff if you like.
Keys to blocking are: 1, body posture. Like setting, you want your legs slightly bent. You don't want to be down too low, and you don't want to be straight-legged. You want to be in a nice, comfortable position with your knees slightly over your toes, your shoulders just leading your hips and just slightly in front of your toes. This will allow you for movement since you're going to have to be running back and forth along the net. Next, you're going to wait with your arms slightly in a position just in front of your shoulders. You don't want to weight with them on the side of your body, and you don't want to weight with them straight up. Next is hand position. Most of the blocking done at the net is with your hands. So it's very important that once you're in the air, your shoulders and your arms are shooting over the net. As soon as my hands break the plane of the net, I'm going to shoot them over, and I'm going to try to grab the ball. My shoulders are going to shrug, and I'm going to stay strong, even after I land. Now, it is very important to not be too tight to the net or too far away. If you're too tight to the net, some players might swing their arms, and that's going to cause you to net, which you're going to lose a point for your team. If I'm too far away, I will tend to drift into the net with my body, which will again lose a point for your team due to the netting. Now, after I jump up, I'm going to land, and my knees are going to be slightly bent, but I'm going to be ready to turn to get the next ball. Now that we've covered the techniques of blocking, it's very important to realize that blocking has a lot of movement involved with it. First, you got to watch the pass. Where kind is the play developing? As soon as the passer passes, you watch the setter. Now you've got to track the ball from the setter. As soon as she releases it, if it's an outside set, you're going to want to head in that direction. If it's a back set, you're going to want to head in the opposite direction. Now once that ball leaves the setter's hands, you're going to have to move out there, track the hitter. You want to find the hitter, and as soon as the hitter starts moving in, the ball and the attacker will come into your eyesight. You want to front them. Front them, get up and over, press, ball, right down to the ground. There are two movements. The first one, most of the outside blockers will use. This is for the right side blocker and the left side blocker. It's a simple side shuffle step. Quick movements back and forth. Just little adjustments made to allow your middle blocker to close to you. As for the middles, they're going to have to do the majority of the moving. And for them, you're going to have a three-step blocking technique. So if I'm moving to my right, my first step is a big step with my right, going in the direction I want to. A left step, closing my shoulders to the net, and hopefully touching the outside blocker, and both going up together. The opposite side, if I'm heading to my left, big step first with my left, crossover with my right, again, shoulders squaring off to the net, hopefully hip to hip with my left side blocker, both going up together, forming a nice solid block. It's very important that as blockers, we all communicate up here. We're the first line of defense, and we're gonna set up a good block so our defensive players can play around us. So communication is key. It's gonna allow them to have a better feel of what's going on. Outside. Back to the middle. Back, back, back. Up, back to the middle. Outside.
Defense starts with blocking. The goal is to block an attack back at the other team. But popping the ball up so it's easy to handle or directing the attack into your defense are also good blocks. An important part of the block mechanics is the footwork. If you don't get to the ball, you cannot block it. The three-step can cover more ground than the shuffle. Follow the ball till you know which player it's going to. Then follow the player so you know where to block before they attack. Finally, start putting your hands across the net as soon as possible. Then get them over as far as you can without touching the net. Uh-oh, the set is off the net. It's too tight, inside or short. What do? A bad set? You can handle it. You just need a few tips from Misty May.
As an attacker, you hope for that perfect set, but what happens if the set isn't exactly where you want it? Well, there's several techniques that will help you to get out of trouble. The first one I'm going to talk about is return to cover. In this technique, you get your feet to the ball. If it's a low, tight set, the block is already forming, you know you have nowhere to go, and you feel trapped, you easily tip it into the block, allowing the block to push it back in your direction so that your team gets another play on it, or you hit a ball high off the block, returning it back to your side, and they're able to play the ball, and hopefully you can get a second chance at an attack. Notice I'm not pushing too hard. I feel in control the whole time. I'm up there, reaching up, lightly pushing it into the block, holding it as long as I can, coming down, ready to get a second play on it. Very important to get your feet there. If you're too far away from the ball, it's to the block's advantage. So get your feet under it, press in, I drop down, play the ball back. If I'm not able to play the ball back, I have 5 other people around me to help me out. The second technique I'm going to talk about to get the hitter out of trouble is geared more for the right side attacker and the left side attacker, but it can be used in any position. It's slowing the ball down, changing the speed, changing the direction of the ball. This is in case the set isn't outside where you want it, but it has to bring you inside. The more you're inside, the less area you have to hit a cross-court ball. So what you're gonna do is go up, you're gonna get your feet under the ball. Still, it's gonna be on your right side. Instead of maybe taking a full swing, you're gonna tip the ball around the block, tip it, if I'm a left-sider, to the right side of the court, or back to the middle, or I'm gonna take a full swing, hit a little under it, nice and easy, almost like I'm lifting it up and over the block to change the speed, and drop it right in the middle of the court. Set isn't where I want it, I think it's outside. Nope, it's inside. Roll it. Make the defense work. You have vision, put it where they're not. Brings me inside. Again, nice, easy arm swing. Use it. I keep going in that direction. For beginners, if the ball brings you inside, keep going in that same direction that you're already headed. Don't go back to your line. The more experienced you are, then you can change direction and hit back to the line. I'm going up, still a loose elbow, loose wrist, my hand is big. Going up, I'm watching my hand contact the ball under it. I contact under the ball, roll up and around it, not a full arm swing, just like I'm lifting it on a shelf. So I extend up. I still go get the ball at the highest point. I don't let the ball come down. Finish with your hand high. Go in as if you're gonna hit the ball hard. As I come up, I just take a little something off my arm swing speed, hit under it, and lift it over the block. The third technique I'm going to talk about to get an attacker out of trouble is called tooling. This can either be done with the hitter going up and hitting the ball off the block out of bounds, or tipping the ball, pushing it in the block, and throwing the ball back out of bounds. This is gonna equal a point for your team. So again, tooling. I'm gonna go up with the same hard approach. The block is already set up on the other side. I go up, get the ball at the highest point. I see the block. I try to tool the blocker's outside hand. So I'm hitting the ball into that outside hand, and instead of my wrist following through straight, I'm gonna follow through out where I want the ball to go. If the ball hits the antenna, it's your point because that ball was out. So again, get there with my feet, tip it into the block, wipe it out of bounds. Push in, wipe out. This is if I feel I'm trapped and I have no more options. So a strong push in and follow through away. Make sure though that you get contact with the block and push it off of them. So hit, out, wipe it out of bounds. Here's a good drill for tooling. All you need is a couple friends and a ball.
Use the two friends as blockers. One friend to toss. The setter tosses the ball tightly, so you have to deal with a bad set. Use your full approach. Get your feet under the ball. Try to hit the ball off the outside blocker's hands. If the set is real tight, push the ball into the block and then wipe it out of bounds. Push the ball into the block and then wipe it out of bounds. That's, of course, without touching the net.
Good. Hitters, go up and get it. Go up and get it high, push it in and wipe it off. Push it into the block and wipe it off. There you go. Good job. Or hit it. Hit the ball off. There you go. Feel them though. You gotta feel the block. Push it in and wipe out. Good job. Push it in, wipe out. Make sure that when you push the ball in, then you're finishing out. Good job. Or hit it. Hitters, very important, get your feet there. Feet. There you go, good one.
We can learn to perform skills perfectly in a drill, but in a game, teams are scrambling and fighting off attacks, so hitters need to learn how to deal with imperfect sets. There are 3 tricks that can be useful. If a set is tight, or there's a block in your way, you can tool the block, hit the ball off the block out of bounds. If the set is inside, you can hit the ball into the block or tip it into the block so that it comes back to your side and you can start your attack again. Finally, you can also handle an inside set by placing the ball deep and cross court or by changing speed. If you're really good, you can turn a bad set into a winning point.